I firmly believe there are only 4 types of clients that any agency can have. Let's get into these. So when you're starting off your marketing agency, your professional services agency, I really believe that there are only 4 types of clients you can have. And let's talk about the first, low-paying, high-headache client. Now, this is the client that you should avoid at all costs. It's pretty easy to spot, especially once you've had your business running for some time. This is the client that has no money, thinks that you are their full-time staff and that you should be on the beck and call for them. We actually had this with clients when we first started. We started working with local restaurants and bars thinking that they would be a cool client for us. However, they had no money and they were a huge headache. It was a constant beratement. Hey, where is this? Why not this? Friday night at 10 p.m. Why don't we have guest lists at our club? Can you promote that on social media? It was a nightmare. In your business, you want to look at what are the low-paying, high-headache clients, and you want to avoid those at all costs. Now, on the flip side, client number 2, there is the low-paying, low-headache client. Some people might tell you to stay away from these and only go for big fish, but the low-paying, low-headache client, which I would classify as passion projects, maybe a family friend has a business and they just need you to social post once a week or update the website here or there. These are actually great clients to help keep the lights on. They're also extremely low stress. Now, you will get to a certain point where you may outgrow them or not have the time to service them. If that is the case, make sure that you introduce them to a contractor or a resource that you trust that can actually handle their account. I don't mind these at all. I find that the low headache, low paying clients can be classified as the passion project, as I said, but they're also great opportunities if you really like a brand or like a company to build up some case studies or build up some content. Typically in those agreements, you have a little bit more freedom as a creative. Use that and go out and really create something that you can be proud of and bring to your next deal. Now let's talk about the third type of client you can have. This is the dream client, the holy grail of clients, so to speak. This is the high-paying, low-headache client. Quite honestly, they're the best. Okay, when you get one of these clients, you need to treat them like they deserve to be treated. And what that means is you need to make sure that you are delivering results for them quickly, on time, and that you're going above and beyond with your service level. Because a client that is high-paying, low-headache makes everything else easier. That relationship with that client is easier. The way they're going to give feedback on your work is going to be easier. The process to get things published is going to be easier. They are truly your grade A, top of the line client. You want to make sure that you do everything you can to keep that client happy. That's a no-brainer, right? I think a lot of people get this client, the high-paying, low-headache client, confused with the other type of client, and that is the high-paying, high-headache client. The high-paying, high-headache client, they are tricky, okay? They come in, you meet with them, everything sounds good. They say, hey, they're a big client, they have all this money, it's going to be amazing. And then you start working with them, and then you notice you get an email on a Saturday. Okay, no big deal, one email on a Saturday. Then you get an email on a Sunday. All right, weird. Then you start getting requests that are outside of the original scope of work. All right, even weirder. Now they're requesting or contacting your team directly and skirting you completely to ask for weird and out of scope changes. This is a problem. These clients, though they might seem big or fundamental to your business because they are cutting what we perceive to be a big check, maybe it is a big number, but the stress they are causing causes a ripple effect throughout your entire company. 1, you are going to be more stressed out, okay? That is almost a fact. 2, your other clients are going to feel the blunt of this. What's going to happen is, because client accounts are not isolated, your other accounts will actually feel some of the stress from this account. Next, if you feel like there's pressure on you or like this client will never be happy or they're always complaining, always sending revisions, you're not going to take chances creatively, and you're ultimately going to end up putting out work that you're not happy with or that took so much effort to get across the finish line with revisions. Then at the end, they're going to pay you and you're going to look back. I do this and I've had it happen to me. I look back and I go, whoa, we gave 2-3 times the hours to the high headache client. And when we break it down at a per hour basis, sometimes our low headache, low paying clients were actually better on a per hour basis. I want to make sure that I can avoid those at all costs. Now, some red flags to look out for that really help you with this to avoid this high headache, high paying client. 1, if they immediately are going and asking for anything outside an agreed to scope. Okay, scope creep is a giant red flag. If someone says they want something out of scope, the number one response to that is, hey, that's amazing. If you can do that, you say, here is the quote for that piece of work, or here is a contractor that does that type of work. We don't do that. You can go one of those two ways, but you don't want to take on work that wasn't in your scope. 2, if they show any signs of being rude, talking down, anything about your team. This is one that's easy on a video to say, hey, just, fire them if they're rude to your team. It's a lot harder to do in practice. If someone is rude once, they're going to be rude twice, 3 times, and it's going to cascade through your organization. On top of this, if you show allegiance to the client over your team, you're going to lose your team. They are already going to start looking for jobs elsewhere, and they're going to feel like you don't have their back as the leader of the company. Those are 2 giant red flags I look out for. The third one, it's a pain to get money from them. If someone is a big bill, but they take forever to pay, they are not a big client. They are a cheap client. Okay, I want to tell you a story. We were working with a Fortune 500 bank. We were helping them do all of their content strategy. We built out this entire plan, felt great about it. The contract was running okay. At the end, they owed us $10,000. All right. Cool. You all made a couple $100 million last year. Send over the last check, right? Send over the last 10 grand. This client stalled for nearly 18 months to pay their last $10,000 because they didn't want to allocate it to certain budgets. Oh, marketing department A thought they should pay it. Marketing department B thought they should pay it. And it was a total mess. It took 18 months for us to collect that check. That was a high profile, high paying client. It was to the 10th degree headache. They were the worst. Or on the flip side of that, we've worked with small mom and pop moving companies. They pay their bill when it's issued. They pay it via credit card. They don't ask questions. They just send it. Hey, can't wait to work with you again. There's no convoluted process. So when I look at that and I go, okay, who do I want to work with and how do I want to shape my business? I want to look for clients that really fit into one of 2 buckets. They're either the low paying, low headache, that client number 2, or the client number 3, which is the high paying, low headache. Once you're able to make a matrix and actually plot them out and plot where your current clients stand on this matrix, then when a client comes in, also do your best guess to see where are they going to fit on the matrix that you create. If you do that, you're going to be in much better shape with identifying clients, the ones you should be working with and the ones you shouldn't. All right, that's it for this video. I'm Jordan Shelton. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.